On the road through Syria's deadliest region, President Assad's regime is taking us through an area in open revolt. Army vehicles that took tanks into the city of Homs line the road. 2 to 3 dozen people are reported to have died there in recent days. 5 today, according to the opposition, though we have no way of proving this. As we reach the city of Hama, sandbagged army positions watch every major junction. An official tells me thousands of troops are here. He also says that in the last 2 months of violence, 200 people have died. Something is badly wrong here. Under the gaze of his president, Hama's mayor says groups of armed men attack troops and police here day and night.
We have got a little problem.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
You wouldn't describe this city as being under control, would you?
Not 100%, but about 90%.
And the protesters say the army fires at peaceful protesters.
It's a very big lie. It's a very big lie.
The protesters have guns now, say the regime. Some are army deserters. We are shown an army officers' club allegedly attacked by these men. And this is the regime's point, that peaceful protests have given way to something much more violent here. This police station is riddled with bullets. 17 officers died here, officials tell me. This city is one of 2 that the regime really is struggling to control. The death toll here is mounting. And like his father, who crushed brutally a revolt in this city, President Assad is, quite literally, sticking to his guns and trying to shoot his way out of trouble. Using his troops to crack down, his police to arrest. Thousands in this city. We weren't told what these men are charged with, but merely assembling in a group of 6 is illegal here. Hama, like Syria, is at a turning point. At the other end of the country, gunfire today in Dera, where the uprising began 8 months ago. It's not clear who the troops are engaging. But it is clear that the last 4 days have been some of the deadliest. The army shelling a block of flats in Homs. The Syrian government says 20 soldiers were killed there this weekend. Tanks are still on the streets, troops clashing with civilians and with their former comrades who've deserted. It's quite clear too, though, that most of this country's protests are peaceful. This is said to have been near the centre of the capital. They are chanting that their president is a murderer. President Assad's picture is everywhere. His authority is not. He has just warned the world not to meddle in Syria or there'll be an earthquake. But it's clear Syria is shaking already.
With no sign of outside intervention, a short while ago I asked Bill where this crisis was heading.
Well, violence and dialogue sit at the 2 extremes. There is plenty of one. Violence is definitely increasing and really not a lot of the other. Almost no dialogue now between the government and the protesters. In fact, the protesters say it's gone way beyond that. Too many people have died. They're not interested in reform anymore. They just want rid of the Assad regime. There was dialogue today between the Arab League and Syria, but no agreement. Syria very resentful of the Arab League's criticisms, but Syria now finding itself almost wholly isolated in the Arab world. President Assad is in a corner. He's boxed himself in with his security solution, his crackdown. More and more groups are now calling more openly for more violence. It is, if you like, the seemingly immovable object against the seemingly irresistible force. But the government can't break the protests, and the protests at the minute can't break the government. So the prospect ahead, I'm afraid, is a dismal one, and sadly a deadly one.